Hi there. Today is Saturday. Let's see. Haley took her math and biology tests today, and she got an 87 on both of them. Even though there were 15 questions on math and I think like 23 on 25. Anyway, on the science. Yeah, they both come out to 87. Pretty weird. Sorry, I've got slipper in my lap. Yarn's going everywhere. Let's see. Nate was much better today. When I came out of my room this morning, first thing after I got up, Nate was already in here watching TV, I think. I closed my door, and I was looking at the door as I was closing it, and there's some scribbles probably from the dry erase marker that's right there on the board outside my bedroom door. I got a paper towel and it wouldn't come off, so that's not the only mark on the door though, so I guess we're gonna have to paint it at some point now to get that off of there. But we probably would have had to paint it anyway, because of the mark that's already on there. Very small mark that he put on there a couple of years ago, probably. Or at least a year ago. I don't know. Anyway, that was the only thing that he did today that he shouldn't have done, really. That got him into trouble. What in the world is my crazy hair doing? So last night, I mentioned that he completely tore up his room and cut up his mattress. And so when I put him to bed last night, I was about to read to him. I took a book back there to read to him, and then when I got to his room and saw it, I was like, no, get in bed, go to sleep. And so today, I told him he needed to clean his room. And it took him all day long. It wasn't that messy. It just was, he didn't want to do it. And so he would go in there and play instead. So finally, at 7? I think it was about 7. So actually, I mentioned it at 7, but he didn't actually go and do it until 8. I told him that if his room wasn't cleaned up today before bedtime, that I was going to do the same thing I did last night and just tell him to go to bed and not read to him or anything. So he got in there and he got his room cleaned. I had to help him with the bed, because of course all the sheets were off of it and everything. But he got all the toys and stuff up after I helped him with his bed. All the toys and all the clothes that were on this floor. And put the furniture back where it belonged. He's got a dresser that has wheels on the bottom, casters on the bottom. So he had pushed that around to where it didn't belong in the room. And there's a rocking chair in there that he had turned over and was in the wrong place and everything. So anyway, he got it all cleaned up, and so he had a story tonight. And now I'm noticing that this part of the blind, which was partially ripped before, is now ripped all the way across. So I wonder when he did that. Anyway, so let's see, he watched some TV today, and I watched some TV today, and I washed some towels yesterday, and some clothes too, actually. And so we got a few things done, and we also sat around some. I've gotten this slipper It was just bugging me a minute ago. I didn't get as much of it done today as I was hoping. But, oh, come on. Hang on. 1 second. Come on. There it goes. Gosh. Anyway, here is what I've got on the slipper so far. It's going to look like this one. Two-toned. I may have mentioned I didn't have enough green to do 2 full slippers, so I added in this part. So hopefully it doesn't look completely ridiculous. Having to do two different colors and not really a pattern, just kind of half and half. So I definitely wouldn't have had enough green to do both. I can now see that perfectly clearly. So, oh my goodness. So Haley's in the shower right now because we have church in the morning. And she didn't go and take her shower at bath time. Buddy will be home tomorrow. I'm teaching my Sunday school class, but it's a review day, so we're going to play, I'm going to take apples to apples and Would You Rather. And I'll let them choose, and if they get tired of one, they can switch or whatever. Buddy will not, however, be helping on in my class because he'll be subbing for another teacher, or 2 teachers, really, that are going to be out. And their son is one of Nate's friends in his class, and so when I was trying to explain to Nathan what his daddy was going to be doing tomorrow, he was like, oh, well, he'll be in my class then, thinking that he was subbing because I mentioned his friend that's in his class. It's like it's going to be his parents. So Nate thought that meant that he was going to be in the class with him and the friend, but it's the friend's parents' class, the class that they teach, which is not the class that Nathan and the friend are in. Anyway, so yeah, he'll be at church, but not with us. So, I think that's all I've got for today. What day was it? Wednesday? Someday this week. One of the boys that goes to our church, committed suicide. And apparently it was very shocking to everyone. Nobody expected that or whatever. And I mean, you know, he's a church kid. He was in like all these different activities, Boy Scouts and I think band or orchestra at school, and did stuff with the church, the youth ministry and stuff. And anyway, he was just in all these different activities. I didn't know him, and in fact, I'm not even sure if I would recognize him if I saw a picture of him. I've tried to find, I've Googled him trying to find pictures of him, and there have been a couple of pictures that I've seen, but it's hard to, I mean, you know, because, you know, you Google somebody and who knows what kind of pictures will come up that that aren't necessarily related to the person, or maybe their name is attached to them, but it's the person's friend or teacher or whatever. So I'm not completely sure. I've seen a picture of him. There's at least one picture though that I think might be him because he looks vaguely, maybe a little bit familiar. But anyway, I think Haley knew him, or at least could pick him out of a lineup, unlike myself. And so she was wanting to go to the funeral yesterday, but I didn't So anyway, there were hundreds of people at the funeral, so I'm sure she wasn't missed. Anyway, when I was her age, a friend of mine was murdered, and I didn't get to go to her funeral, even though I told my mom beforehand that if the funeral was that weekend, I wanted to go. Anyway, but Haley didn't tell me she wanted to go, so. Anyway. So, I'm sure there'll be some mention of that at church tomorrow. I'd heard the boy's last name just once, a couple of times around, seeing it, in the church stuff, whatever. But they aren't, like, big, important members of the church or anything like that, so. They weren't anyone I had ever, we went in different circles, even at the same small church. Our church is pretty small, but anyway. Don't know everybody. So, I think that's all I've got for today. Yeah. Church tomorrow, like I said. And then who knows what. Haley's got exchange tomorrow night. So, this will be the first Sunday since the boy died. So I won't be surprised if they mention it at the exchange tomorrow night too. So, anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Bye!